As London's housing crisis continues to escalate, growing numbers have taken to the streets to challenge the government's new housing bill.
How are people going to survive in London? How are people going to live here? Push further and further out. Ultimately, it will result in an economic collapse. And do you really want that? To the Tories, have they really thought this through?
It's about future generations and what London's supposed to do in terms of service workers, young people, because no one can afford the rents here. It's crazy, and it's also really expensive to commute in.
With soaring rents and inflated house prices, the reality is that Londoners are being driven out of the capital. Davina Patel is a communications manager working in the charity sector and explains the challenges of buying in London.
A 2-bedroom apartment is £749,000. Yeah, so I'm a first-time buyer. I work in London. I recently married in September, so me and my husband were looking to buy somewhere relatively close to where we work. So I work in Victoria, he works in Oval. So the budget, we were looking initially at around $450 as our maximum. So because of his salary, we were able to get a mortgage of 300,000, which helped us a lot. But we did have to pay quite a lot of deposit. So I was priced out the market. So I had to go outside of London. But even looking in Guildford was a challenge. But luckily we found a place within our budget, and we eventually bought a house that is an end of terrace townhouse with 3 bedrooms. But it does mean we have to pay a lot of money on commuting. I have an annual travel card, which is £3,400 a year.
And the average rental price in London is £1,500 per calendar month. That is 7.7% higher than the same period last year and double the UK national average. Spareroom, the UK's #1 flat and house share website, explains the problems facing young professionals when renting in London.
The one thing we're seeing more and more of now is people renting. I think as home ownership becomes harder and harder for people to achieve, people are renting for longer, and also as a result in some of the cities, flat sharing for quite a lot longer, just because it's simply the most affordable option. I think the difficulty is largely that we still create more jobs here than we do anywhere else, so it still brings people in at stages of their life when they're not earning much, and flat sharing is pretty much the only affordable option left to most people who are young professionals these days.
We see people wearing the white stickers have rooms, they're the ones you can chat to, or you can also do a buddy up. So that's where if you find other people that are also looking for a room, if 3 or 4 of you will get on well together, you can then club together and rent a new property.
Hi, I'm Christian. I have a room in Crystal Palace to let. It's my first time to a speed flatmating. New experience for me, but it's been pretty good. There's a whole load of people here. There seems to be quite a lot of demand. I've got a few people's details so far, so it's looking positive at the moment. And luckily, there seems to be a good market for spare rooms right now.
Hi, I'm Mel.
And I'm Emma.
We just moved over from Australia last week, looking for a place to rent in London, and we're quite shocked already. The prices are about 3 times what we would pay at home.
We weren't ready for it, but we're looking forward to finding a place here. Looking around the Clapham area.
And I've been looking for about 3 or 4 months now for a suitable place. My greatest difficulty is finding something that's within my budget. Everything in London is extremely expensive.
So an affordable rent in a relatively central part of London should be about the 600, 650 mark really. For a young professional just starting out in the city, they shouldn't be looking at paying any more than that.
I think the interesting thing will be to see how London tackles this crisis, because there are a couple of elements to it. One is that if things continue as they are, then young professionals and people working in creative industries will be entirely priced out of the city, and then the city itself will change as a result. It will become something of a theme park just for rich people, which would be a terrible shame. And so we either need more housing in London, or potentially we need to spread the diversity of how the UK functions around the regions.
Young Londoners clearly need a housing solution that will ease the financial strain. But what is not clear is whether the government's new housing policy will be the answer.
People are desperate, and you can't do anything else in life when you haven't got somewhere to live. It's a basic human need and a basic human right, and we're going to make sure that people get it.